Well, afternoon, everybody in the VHR. Cyan here. Going to go ahead and take some of the information that I've been looking at involving the Archimonde fight. Now, clearly, what's happening is we're getting to 25%, and then all of a sudden, from 25 to about 20%, we're seeing this huge blow up of damage, and it's there. I mean, if you look at the logs, and I'll show you it, for example, in some of the Reddit stuff that I'm going to be posting and MMO Champion information that I'm finding, and I'm going to put that on the Facebook page. What you see is that there's this moment where you have chains going on, you have the infernals present, you have the base damage going into the tank, and then you have the fellfire coming in as far as the rain of chaos. So you have all of these things occurring, and then what you're also seeing at that same point is that half the group is down in the nether portal dealing with the two ads inside there, trying to burn them as quickly as possible to get back to us, right? Okay, well, as far as the summoning of the infernals, that is something that occurs at 25% to the end of the fight. Okay, so as one of the options that I've seen is that we can throttle down just a little bit and wait for Team 2 and the Nether Banish to come out and then proceed to go forward from there. We're also going to make an adjustment involving Nether teams. Basically, we're going to send a whole bunch of DPS the first go round, try to split it up in half as best we can, but add a couple of extra on the first rotation, and then on the second rotation, the rest of the DPS is going in. So we're literally gonna have to split the team almost in half. I want to go for like a 55, 60%, 40%. That'll help us with getting the kills quickly. We're also going to rotate hero into when the first rotation of infernals comes through. Instead of using it when the first team comes back out, we're going to be able to sit there and just have that extra throughput when the first set of infernals. And then on the second set of infernals, what we want to do is potion ring cooldown, if possible. Or potion ring whatever damage we can do. We're also going to have to start using externals consistently on the tanks, because what we're going to want the tanks to do is to at least summon, but taunt, and also we want an MD, so that two of the infernals, no matter what, are going to go over to a certain location involving the tank, plus the tank's going to be taking that damage of Archimonde until the other group comes out. So that's another reason why we can throttle too, at least on the first attempt, so that we have a clean progression into 25%. The Infernals, Reign of Chaos will offset that a little bit as far as that schedule of all of it happening at once, by being able to just throttle down a little bit, let group two, 1 or 2 come back out, and then we'll push accordingly. But we'll have to see. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, right? It's magic. What are we going to do, right? So a couple of items, though, I want to go ahead and check off the list right now at the 3-minute mark in this video is just 50 percentiles involving tank survivability, healing output, and also DPS averages that should be going on for our item level on heroic in the last 2 weeks. All right, so this is 50 percentile. As you can see, this is the total damage that you want to shoot for if you're doing 50%. So protection paladins around 47k intake per second. 51, you get the gist of each one of these, and I'm gonna make this available and post it on the Facebook page in just a little bit. I'm probably going to throw it into an email that I can send out via the website for those that are registered. Let's go to Fight HPS. Okay, so this is what you want is 50 percentile again here, so that's what we have. And what we need to be putting out is about 300k worth of HPS, okay? That's with minimal mistakes. That's like 50% of the mistakes basically incurring. It'll put us around there. DPS needs to be around 749, which you'll see here. That's how much DPS that it takes consistently to be able to burn him at 50 percentile execution. So 750,000, right? And then what we can look at is player damage. And these are all the classes at 50 percentile involving our item level and heroic, okay? So these are the damage markers that we need to look for. High end is a Hunter at 54, and low end is Warlock Demonology at 39, okay? Now, like I said, this is 50 percentile execution. So this usually asserts that you have, for example, your tier set, you have an average of 709 to 710. Probably the trinket's present, the ring is present in some area. So low end from now on that I'm going to be looking for is 40k. If you're not doing 40k on progression, Archimonde, then we're going to have to ask you to step out, just so you know. So make sure that you're working on your rotation, looking at what your damage throw put is. I want to show you this too at 100 percentile, like max, like this is the best execution that you can get. Those are the DPS thresholds that you'll see. So it goes all the way up to 90k for a Mage Frost at that level. Over here too, you can see your parse counts as far as like how many have done it in the last 2 weeks. So there's literally hundreds, if not for hunters and mages, almost 1,000, 1,500 worth of worth of inner data involving execution. So those are the high-end numbers that you can hit for, and we have people doing this, but we also have people that are below 40k. So a minimum from now on, like I said, is 40k. Avoidance of damage is just something that we'll work on. So if you're doing 60k but yet you're getting hit by a whole bunch of damage, we'll be like, hey, stop getting hit by damage, and hopefully you'll only curve a little bit to 55 or 52, but yet you won't get hit by nothing, and that'll be the perfect synergy for what we're looking for. Now on this one here, this is all of our heroic wipes and our average DPS thresholds. We have a high of 65 actual and 60 exact. So I mean, that's activity, which you want. This is what you would be doing or should be doing based on parse, based on data, based on you attacking the entire time, your activity level at 100%. So we got 65, 56, 62, 58, 49, 45, 46, 52, 37, 41, 51. Tanks are at 30, Margrave's at 23, Dan's at 35, right? So what we're seeing, I'm at 62k. That's because of actual versus so at 3% flex, 62k, right? So overall, we've got the total damage threshold that we need. Also, if you look at healing, our overall healing threshold, if you take a look at the total numbers here for exact for what we can put out to our averages, we're at about 214k present heals, which is pretty nice. If you look at the averages for percentile, we're putting ourselves right in underneath it. You can also look at raw healing. Now we have a lot of overhealing going on because we're trying to put out the thorough put, and then we're having this big spike. So dealing with the spike is really going to help. But if you look at our raw healing numbers, we're healing for 409,000. So we're able to put out 100,000 over what the HPS standard is as far as for that part. Okay, so we've definitely got the heals covered. The issue I'm seeing is just because we have some low end damage going on, and we need to try to get it up. Now I know some of you are working on gear, some of you have got gear, etc. But we need to get past all of those points and just try to figure out the maximum way to be able to put out the output we need to at this time, and then push from there. Okay. Right here, I believe this is our execution of the final phase. So I want you to just take a quick look at it. So our movement is in this area here. Here's Archimonde currently. Here's the whole group. We haven't sent a team down yet, but we're at 20. We're at 27%. Oh, we sent one team through, so this is everybody back. So naturally, the first portal is right in here. And the next one's in this area here, and we're moving around. Body-wise, we're pretty good. But then I want you to take a look at this. So right, you see where we got a little spread, right? Let me pause there, and then take a look at this one. Let me turn on everybody player-wise. And that's their form at the exact same time, entering into the same zone. They saved hero for clearly the first set of Infernals. This is also at like 6 minutes when they did it. So their thorough put is higher than ours, but this is a top-end execution for a team similar to ours in size, similar in item level last 2 weeks. Okay, so they have some higher end thorough put, and then they don't really have any low end thorough put issues. They're pretty much, if you look at the entire team's execution, everybody was like 70 percentile to 95 percentile. So everybody was doing their maximum damage potential consistently. Archimonde is kept in the middle here. They worked him from this position here, where we typically start the fight, right? At our first set of flags, and then they moved him to here, and then they're going to move him to here and to here. Like I said, they used this one here for their first rotation, involving the presence of, like I said, all those attacks earlier at the beginning of the video, plus also the Infernals being present at that time. Another thing too with chain pops, we need to make sure on chains that like we're not like they're marked. It says it above your head, It'll go, fell chain 1, fell chain 2, whatever it says across the top. But there'll be a 1, 2, and a 3 present. Like, one person needs to go pop theirs, and then 2 needs to immediately follow, and then 3 needs to follow. So you have to pay attention for it, and we need to start practicing doing it in that kind of rhythm. Why under stress, especially in the last 25% when it's straight crazy. Okay? Play this one for you for a little bit so you can kind of see the movement. They've already had one team rotate through. They're keeping it here. Now here's the first Infernal and second Infernal. They brought them both to this person here. They kind of mix over the top of each other when it spreads out, but we have a Living Shadow that's chasing him right there. I guess they layer it, and so your movements are relative to one another, and they're able to record it. You can see here that they're burning down the last of the Infernals in this area here. Okay, they're working the Shadow. They broke their team up in half and sent half the team, and then the other half, so you can tell by the debuffs that they're getting and the marks on there. So then they're going to come out. They break each shackles. So see how they moved Archimonde just across here. Kept it really simple. So if you're going back and forth, and then you're like, okay, boom, 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 you go all the way across again. So you're like here, 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 and there. It seems really simple. Team goes in. This is the next rotation to the next team. They're going to be chasing everything in here. Infernal 4 is right here. There's 5, and there's 6. So you see how they spread them out across this area here? What I read in some of the different threads that I've been reading is that they designate a person to be responsible for taunting them with an MD of the tank for one of them, and then the 2 DPS that have taunts basically go boom boom, and they both take their targets, and then they create, they start the position, and then designating one player to be responsible for immediately marking the target and putting a skull on it, so that way everybody knows to go ham on it, and then you go ham on the second one, ham on the third, and then push through from there. There's also a third banish team rotation concept that people are doing, the cheese. What they do is at that point they send in the tank and at least 2 DPS. Last night Yulia asked about the healing that was going on. That's directly relative to not enough people being sent in during the banish, the nether banish. If you don't send at least 3 people, then he starts to heal for 5%. So what we have to do there is on the third team you would sacrifice your tank and 2 lowest DPS. Everybody else stays out. And then you proceed to burn the target as quickly as possible. So that's pretty strong. This is another presentation of an execution where they did a hero at 25%. So they clearly asked for it. And then the team came out. They heroed again for the others that were gone. So they heroed, went in, or I guess they heroed and they're doing the damage here. Let's see if they're attacking any nether. No, not at this point, right? So what you have is the Infernals. The Infernals on this display are typically yellow. It looks like they've already killed the first one. This is how many people that they sent into the nether right here. That's the Void Star, the object you have to take out as a DPS. So there's one. So they've already killed the first one. There's the first one. There's the third one. The second one's not present. So they've already killed the second one. So as a team, what they did was the Infernals come out through here, I believe. Or maybe they just randomly appear. They probably just randomly appear, right? Yeah, okay. So they're going to appear on top of people. And so that's how come, like, for example, when the rain is happening, everybody has to run around. And make sure you're not getting hit by stuff while properly taking care of the chains and breaking them in a responsible fashion. So you'll see the Infernal comes in. They move out of the way. First Infernal starts to hit because they're at 25%. And as you can see, like the way that their damage throughput is coming through across the section through here, they slow down on purpose, and then they hit 25% and intentionally wait for them to come out. So they spawn, the 3 of them spawn, and then they take them down. Okay. Team's gonna wrap up what they're doing in here, probably around this point there, and see everybody's out. They hero again to get everybody a second opportunity, and then they do the same. They do a sacrifice team on this rotation here. Okay. Up here, I just typed Archimonde 20% help, and that started to bring up a number of different things to be able to read. So that's what I'll suggest. I'll put that source up on the Facebook page too. Did the same here and with Reddit. So I'm going to transfer all of it over to here and just work from there consistently, okay? I hope this helps. It's just right now I'm just kind of trying to process through it and see what we can or can't do. The issue from the logs that are above clearly show that we're basically having a huge amount of damage being produced by the boss, involving 4 mechanics, 5 mechanics being present, and our issue is that we're not managing them well as we can, as well as we need to. So what we want to do is make sure that we just start focusing on it properly and adjusting as we need to. Okay? I appreciate you taking time watching the video. Sorry for its length at 15 minutes, but I'm just trying to figure it out and get ourselves in a position where we'll be successful tonight or in the future. Okay? Appreciate it. Thank you.